The governor who traded his sister to 4 oil tycoons. The contract that destroyed a Texas fortune, 1901. In 1901, in the oil fields of East Texas, Governor William H. Thornton did the unthinkable. He created a contract that allowed 4 oil magnates to court and potentially marry his younger sister, Catherine, in exchange for drilling rights on his family's land. What began as a desperate attempt to save his political career ended up destroying one of the most influential families in Texas. You're watching Uncle Thomas's Cabin, where we unearth the most disturbing and untold stories from American history. If this content impacts you, leave your like to support our work. We spend hours researching historical archives to bring you these narratives. Share with those who need to know our true history. You're watching Uncle Thomas's Cabin, the only place where real American history is told without filters. Leave a comment saying where you're watching from. We want to know if our audience is spread across America or around the world. And take the opportunity to comment on what you would do if you discovered a family secret as disturbing as this one. The year was 1901. Texas was experiencing the greatest oil boom in its history. But in the Thornton family estate, located 30 miles from Beaumont, financial disaster loomed. The Thornton Ranch, spanning 15,000 acres of pine forests and grasslands, had been in the family for 3 generations. Governor William H. Thornton, at 48 years old, was respected throughout the state. Descendant of pioneers who fought at the Alamo, he built his political career on the foundation of his family's ranching legacy. The property housed over 5,000 head of cattle and employed more than 150 workers between the ranch operations and the main house.
Catherine Thornton, his sister and 15 years his junior, was considered one of the most beautiful women in East Texas. At 33 years old, she maintained the elegance and poise expected of a woman from Texas elite. Educated at a finishing school in Boston, she spoke French fluently and played piano with mastery. She had refused 3 marriage proposals over the years, preferring independence to arranged marriages. The Thornton family faced financial collapse. Governor William had invested heavily in railroad bonds that became worthless after the Panic of 1893. Additionally, he had borrowed extensively to modernize the ranch, expecting cattle prices to remain high. Instead, prices plummeted and debts accumulated. By 1900, the family owed over $200,000 to various creditors, an astronomical sum for the time. The discovery of oil at Spindletop in January 1901 changed everything. Suddenly, land that had been valuable only for cattle became potentially worth millions if oil was discovered beneath it. 4 oil magnates approached Governor Thornton with proposals to drill on his land, but he lacked the capital to negotiate favorable terms. It was during a poker game in April 1901 that everything changed. Governor Thornton was playing cards with 4 of the most powerful oil men in Texas: James T. Caldwell, Harrison Foster, Edmund Pierce, and Samuel Blackwood. These men controlled the majority of drilling operations in East Texas and had made fortunes from Spindletop. During the game, after several whiskeys, Caldwell made an audacious proposal. "William, we all know you're in financial trouble. We also know your land probably sits on top of an ocean of oil. And we all know about your beautiful sister, Catherine." The other 3 men stopped playing and listened intently. Caldwell continued, "Here's my proposal. Give each of us exclusive time to court Catherine. If she chooses to marry one of us, that man gets first drilling rights on your land at partnership terms. The other 3 get secondary rights. You get enough money immediately to clear your debts and maintain your political position." Governor Thornton was initially outraged. The suggestion that he would trade his sister's romantic prospects for business deals insulted his sense of honor. But Caldwell pressed on. "We're not talking about anything improper. We're talking about legitimate courtship.
Catherine would have final say on whether she marries any of us. We're all respectable widowers or bachelors. We're simply asking for the opportunity, and you get financial security in return." The proposal haunted Governor Thornton for weeks. His debts were crushing him. Creditors threatened foreclosure. His political enemies used his financial troubles to undermine his authority. The governorship itself was at risk if bankruptcy proceedings began. Catherine noticed her brother's increasingly erratic behavior. He asked strange questions about her views on marriage, about whether she would consider older men, about her willingness to help the family. When he finally revealed Caldwell's proposal in May 1901, Catherine's reaction was complicated. She was initially insulted that her brother would even consider such an arrangement, but she also understood the desperate situation. Unlike the enslaved people and powerless women in our previous story, Catherine had agency. She could refuse, but the destruction of her family's legacy weighed on her conscience.
"I'll consider it," she finally said, "but only under my conditions. I meet each man in proper social settings. I maintain complete control over whether I accept any proposal. And if I choose none of them, the family finds another solution." Governor Thornton, relieved that she hadn't rejected the idea outright, agreed to her terms. The contract was drawn up by a lawyer in Houston, kept confidential, and signed by all parties in June 1901. The 4 oil magnates would each have 2 months of exclusive courtship rights, properly chaperoned. In exchange, they would immediately provide $50,000 collectively to clear the most pressing debts. If Catherine married one of them, the full business partnership would be executed. James T. Caldwell went first, from July to August 1901. At 52, he was the oldest of the 4 and the wealthiest. He owned refineries and pipelines throughout Texas. His courtship style was overwhelming: expensive gifts, elaborate dinners, tickets to operas in Houston. Catherine found him pompous and exhausting. Harrison Foster courted her from September to October. At 45, he was more reserved, intellectual, and genuinely interested in Catherine's opinions on literature and politics. She enjoyed their conversations, but felt no romantic connection. Edmund Pierce had his turn from November to December. At 38, he was the closest to Catherine's age and had a reputation as a charming rogue. His courtship was filled with outdoor adventures, horseback riding, and spontaneous picnics. Catherine found him entertaining, but unreliable. Samuel Blackwood courted her from January to February 1902. At 50, he was quiet, thoughtful, and respectful. Unlike the others, he didn't try to impress her with wealth or charm. He simply spent time getting to know her.
By March 1902, Catherine faced her decision. She had spent 8 months being courted by 4 powerful men while her brother's financial and political situation hung in the balance. The pressure was immense, but she had developed unexpected feelings for Samuel Blackwood. On March 15, 1902, Catherine announced she would marry Samuel Blackwood. The wedding was planned for June. The other 3 magnates, per the contract, received secondary drilling rights. Governor Thornton's debts were cleared, and the Thornton-Blackwood Oil Partnership was formed. But the decision triggered unexpected consequences. James Caldwell, furious at being rejected, began investigating the contract's origins. He discovered communications suggesting Governor Thornton had initiated the arrangement, not just responded to it. Caldwell leaked this information to political opponents and newspapers. By April 1902, scandals erupted across Texas. Headlines read, "Governor sells sister for oil rights," and "Thornton family trades love for crude." The actual facts were distorted. Catherine's agency in the decision was minimized. The story was portrayed as the governor pimping his sister to oil men, which wasn't accurate, but made better headlines.
Governor Thornton's political career collapsed within weeks. Calls for his resignation came from all sides. His own party abandoned him. In May 1902, he resigned in disgrace, becoming the first Texas governor to resign under scandal. Catherine and Samuel's wedding was postponed, then canceled. Samuel, though genuinely fond of Catherine, couldn't withstand the public pressure. His business partners threatened to withdraw if he proceeded with the marriage. In July 1902, he broke off the engagement, returning drilling rights.
The Thornton Ranch was eventually foreclosed despite the temporary reprieve from the initial $50,000 payment. Without the full partnership, debts accumulated again. The property was auctioned in September 1902 and purchased by a consortium that included Harrison Foster. Catherine Thornton never married. She moved to California in 1903, living under an assumed name until her death in 1941. Governor William Thornton died in 1908, broken and alcoholic, never recovering from the scandal. The oil beneath the Thornton Ranch proved to be one of the richest deposits in Texas history, eventually producing millions of barrels. The fortune that could have saved the Thornton family instead enriched the very men who had courted Catherine. This story reveals how even when individuals have agency and choice, societal pressures and economic desperation can create impossible situations. Unlike enslavement, Catherine could refuse, but the consequences of refusal were devastating to everyone she loved. The Thornton scandal of 1901 reminds us that our history is filled with moments where personal dignity collides with economic survival, where families make desperate choices that haunt generations. If this story made you reflect on how economic pressure shapes human decisions, leave your like and share this video. Comment on how you think we should remember these complicated historical moments. Our research work takes time and dedication. Your support through likes and shares helps us continue bringing these forgotten stories to light.